Hi, living in Boulder vlog, 13th of, I think it's the 13th of January 2020 on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. I didn't do my video yesterday because I was working the whole time. Whenever I feel like I'm behind, I don't do my video, I don't do nothing. Didn't even go to the gym yesterday. My mom kind of tried to talk me into it. She wanted to go, but I didn't go. Because what happened was I'm bogged down. I'm working on a bogged down project right now. I am doing polygon tool, so I'm tracing not just a line, but I'm tracing the width too. So I'm doing it twice. I'm going up a trail, and then I choose like a width of the trail, and then I go down the other way. And then I set it to 1 meter high with a border. It's just the best way to make trails look. Because you can see the width of the trail. You know, I get down to maybe a width of 3 meters. It's not the exact width of the trail. Trails are like 18 inches across, so I'm not doing that on Google Earth, but down to like 3 meters or less even, 1 meter. Super, super detailed, following the exact trail of all of the trails in Boulder County because I'm mapping all of the trails. I did download somebody who had a collection of all these trails that they did on Google Earth, but then I lost it. It's the weirdest thing. And then I found it again, and I lost it. But I checked out a few that they had, and they weren't very detailed. It was kind of like the way that I did them before when you just kind of like, whoosh. So I don't think anybody's going to have a detailed, polygon or even a line of any of the trails around here. So I'm going to have to do it myself, which is fine because I can look through the trees and I can see them. And then, of course, Google shows where the trails are in their little feature, roads feature. So they didn't have that when I was working on this a couple of years ago. This is new. So I got bogged down in this thing that was really long. There's this trail that's 150 miles around Boulder. It's a mountain bike trail. And the loop starts at the Moffett Tunnel parking lot. It's a great parking lot, not too far of a drive from here. So the entire ride is up in the mountains. And it's 160 miles long, and it goes over the mountains and over all the mountains, and it's awesome. I'm looking at this thing like, oh, wow, this is world class. This has to be turned into a loop that people do and, you know about, and I want to do it. So I traced it a while ago, and so now I decided to go ahead and polygon it because I was polygoning everything in Boulder County. That's my rules, polygon everything in Boulder County. And this trail, like pretty much not much of the loop is in Boulder County, but it starts in Boulder County. And it's like a day ride from Boulder. And anything that's a day's ride from Boulder, it gets a polygon status. So I decided to do it. But it was 160 miles, and so I was doing it, and I forgot that if you make polygon too big, it just cuts out. It kills the memory of the computer, and it just disappears. Now, one thing I could have done was hit the X and X'd out, and it would have saved it from what it was before the last time I saved it. And that where it was now, but somehow I didn't do it. And happened too fast, and I'm scratching my head wondering. And then I realized, oh, right, that's what happens. Because I saw that once before, and when I was working on Atlantis, I have a 75 kilometer, I think it is. Or is it 75 mile? I think it's 75 mile even. Yeah, like winding mountain bike trail through the woods of Atlantis. And I did the line, and I said, oh, this is going to look really cool as a polygon. So I started polygon, and then it disappeared. I said, oh, that's because it's too big. But for some stupid reason, I didn't go. And so then I just went, all right, whatever, just make it a line. But for some stupid reason, I didn't go, oh, wait, just because it's too big doesn't mean you can't do it. Just do it in sections. You make a folder of the mountain bike trail, and then you just divide it into 4 sections, and then it can handle the 4 sections. Anyway, so when that happened yesterday, I realized immediately that that's what I was going to do. I guess because I wanted to build this more than I wanted to build the other one. Because it was too late, and I'm like, fuck, I have to build it over. And it took me like an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours or something. Because I'm detailed, 160 miles long, right next to the trail. And I have to guess a lot because it's through the trees. You can imagine it takes a long time. So I had to do all that work all over again. But I knew I could remember because I had double doozied them. I hadn't just done the one side. I did 2 sides because, I did it in a bunch of different fits and stops. So I'd saved it. And so when you save it, you have to start it from the other side. That's just how Google Earth works on the polygon. And so that made it so that I had both sides of the road done. And so I knew how long it would give me. And so I guessed, okay, 4 sections. So I divided it into 4 sections. So I guess you can get, if you're doing a really like detailed trail polygon tool, both sides, you can get up to maybe, I'd say, 40 miles worth of trails before your computer is going to die. So just don't try anything more than 40 miles. So I redid it. Took me forever, hours and hours and hours. I did section 1 and then I did section 2. I'm working on section 2 now, I think. And then it's section 3 and 4. Maybe it's just 3 sections. But that's what I'm working now. It's super time consuming. It's crazy. And of course, it's not done yet because most of yesterday was done doing just trails all over Boulder. I'm doing all the bike paths because what I want to do is create a world where all you see, because I'm going to patch over all the roads, or at least all the buildings. So when you look at Boulder County, all you see are trails, the polygon, drawings of the trails and roads, which is all over the place. It's like a spider web. But then you don't see any buildings since it's just the roads. So it can put you mentally in the mindset of looking in the past. And I might make the roads the same color as the background, or I might just plug up the roads to make it to choose how many roads I have in the past. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how excited I get on the project. If I get super excited, then I decide to put all the time in the world in it. So, I mean, it's very likely, maybe 50-50, that I'll never leave my life, leave my room ever. I'll just be here. I'll be like an 80, 90-year-old guy, barely able to move and just working on my website. But I was working on these trails that go over the mountains to the other side into the other side and then loops around because I consider that a one-day trail ride from Boulder, even if it's not in Boulder County / Boulder Kingdom. I'm going to do those too because it's like Mountain Tapia is its own other place. I'm going to make super detailed just like Boulder County. And so, I expanded what I'm going to work. So all the mountains and make roads around it. So that's time consuming because I only went up one and I didn't even get to the top. So that's at the very basic stages. I don't even know how long it's going to take. It takes forever because you have to look at the trees and you have to make it detailed. It takes forever. It's kind of a headache. So, and all the other roads and trails that I can think of, day road, mountain bike trails, rides from Boulder County. So I got a lot of work basically. I'm trying to just take my time. I ran out of weed yesterday and tried to go to the weed store, but I forgot that my driver's license is expired, so I couldn't buy weed. So I went to Driver's Bureau. They can't give me a temporary driver's license because of like COVID and everything. And I had already renewed my driver's license online. I guess they're just going to mail it to me. And I asked them, and it was too late. I couldn't go in there. I guess if I went in there personally, they could have given me a temporary, and then I could have gotten the weed with the temporary. So then I went down, and I got more crickets for my gecko, because my gecko's been like kind of starving, and came back, and my roommate was here. So I just gave the money to my roommate. Told my roommate to go to the store and get the weed. So I'm waiting for him to come back. He should come back any second now. I'm surprised he hasn't come back yet. Then I'm going to get really stoned. But I'm at the point where I smoke weed, and I don't even get high. Like last night, I smoked the rest of my weed, and I didn't even get high. I'm like, damn, dude. I remember the days when you used to get high, like really high. Like, oh, don't. I don't want to smoke anymore. I'll get too high. Like the only way I get high like that is if I eat reefer. Like in a lot of it. So just smoke. Luckily though, it's all legal, and you're smoking reefer, and you're not smoking scraped resin or like some idiot who grew it in his backyard or whatever with pesticides. Like it's all regulated. So the weed is so healthy that you can smoke it all day long and your lungs are much, much, much better off than they were back when it was illegal. I still have bad lung. I mean, I still got an asthma attack right now, but it's not nearly as bad as before. So let's try to keep this under 10 minutes. So I was listening to Nature of Personal Reality by Seth because I'm trying to figure out quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is basically the same thing as everything else, like psychology and mind and soul and everything. So I'm just trying to find the connection between those. It's a really good book. I mean, really good book. It's one of those books you would read over and over again. So even though it was written in the early 70s, it's one of the only real challenge books. So I was doing that, and then of course watching all the news about the riots. Just watching that over and over again. Anyway, let's keep it under 10 minutes. Don't know where I'll go tomorrow. I'll just be working on these roads. Whatever. I'll work until I'm done. Talk to you tomorrow.